Hi, welcome to Tea Time with the Fellowship, a show where I, Charlie, ask Benji and Max questions I came up with earlier, and we talk about many things. So, to start off, Benji, what is the tea of the day?
Well, today we're trying a new tea, different from the past two times. We're trying a green tea that looks kind of green. Not quite green enough to be green, but it's close.
Interesting.
Thank you, Charlie, for introing the show today.
Ah, yes. I, Charlie. You must refer to me as this. Do we have a brand for this tea?
Oh, yes, it's Stash green tea. Unlike the other time where I got the Lipton green tea and everyone else got the Stash green tea. So now I get to be with the big boys.
I think Charlie got the Lipton green tea week 1.
No, I give it to Benji.
Oh, you did?
I did, in fact, give it to Benji.
To be fair, I'd never had the Stash green tea, so I wouldn't have known what I was missing.
That is fair.
Should I do an introduction? My name is Benji. I am the person talking right now.
Hello, I, Max, will be participating in this show.
I'm Charlie, and I'm gonna leave in 3 seconds. Bye! Good show, guys. No.
Perfect show.
Okay, let's start off with the first question. This takes a bit of roleplay, a bit of experimentation, true bravery.
Oh boy.
We may be a bit early for Valentine's Day, but the premise is you gotta take another person at the table on a date. You'll roleplay this out, but it's not gonna be a good date. It needs to be the worst date possible. We'll each get a chance to go around with Benji, of course. Max, taking his love of his life, Benji, then Benji dumping Max to take me, then me dumping Benji to take Max.
But I have such a good plan for Max.
We could switch it around then, Benji. You seem excited.
I've been given a inspiration. So, step 1, it's got to be really late at night. It's got to be at like 1 a.m. So okay. Max is like very tired, but it has to be in an environment where he can't quite fall asleep, which is a lot because Max he can fall asleep while I'm blasting Doom Eternal just right next to the speakers. He can fall asleep at band practice. So what I gotta do is go to a club with really crazy strobe lights and lasers. I gotta hop him up on caffeine secretly. And it's got to be a club that only serves bread bowls. So he can have as much gluten as possible because he loves eating gluten. And it's got to be sugary bread bowls. And then I'm going to have a group. I'm going to hire everyone around us to chew and with their mouth open as loudly as possible. Because Max really loves it when people do that. And I'll make sure they express very loudly opinions that just directly counter Max's.
So you're just creating this sounds like not like a bad date. This sounds like an intentionally created torture.
That was the goal, no?
I guess you're right. Let's go. So I'm taking Charlie on a date. I'm gonna take Charlie on a date to the Cheeto factory.
Oh God, no!
But there's no free samples.
None.
You can look.
You can only look. There's no free samples at the Cheeto factory.
Are they Cheeto Puffs at least?
No, it's every variety of Cheeto. You get to watch them make every variety of Cheeto, and you can like. There's even a stop at the testing station where you see a bunch of workers very testing a Cheeto and going, that's so delicious, and that's where we spend the most of our time during the tour. But you get no Cheetos.
Maybe he can get a pickle-based Cheeto, since he likes pickles so much.
So the second I step into that Cheeto factory, it doesn't matter if legally I'm not allowed to taste the Cheetos. Of course, as standard for every date I go on, I'll bring my hacksaw and my blowtorch.
Well, no, it's set up to where if you get near a Cheeto at all, you get shot.
I'm taking the risk.
Between you and the Cheetos is the Berlin Wall made out of transparent aluminum.
Look, man, you might as well call me, I don't know, the first man to tear down the Berlin Wall, but I'm doing it. I'm tearing down this Cheetah Wall.
Mr. Gorbachev.
I'm taking my blowtorch, my hacksaw, and my AK-97, which will be here soon. And I'm gonna take down this Cheeto barricade. I'm gonna walk up to this so-called Cheeto connoisseur. I mean, if they're a real Cheeto connoisseur, they would have read my book on Cheetos.
See, the joke's on you. They were all holograms this whole time.
Even the Cheetos?
Even the Cheetos.
Oh my god.
It was all to make you want Cheetos, but you'd never get them.
Not only do I get to try to get Cheetos, I get arrested for, like, committing several felonies without the joy of Cheetos.
I came up with a really easy way to make it worse. Afterwards, you have to go to the DMV.
I take you on a date to the DMV. It's such a like, oh.
Before you can leave, the entrance is blocked by a DMV.
There's no gift shop. There's the DMV.
And they don't tell you what papers you need before you get in line. So you get to the front, and they're like, oh no, this is the wrong paperwork. And I'll be like, hey, can I just fill it out and then just come back to you? No, you gotta wait in line again.
I'm really glad that even I've been to a DMV and had to wait despite not having a license or driving a car. If you want an ID,
There go the DMV.
you have to go.
Now I get to... Okay, Benji, it's going to start out here.
Oh boy.
You'll be awakened at 9:30 a.m. to the sound of trumpets. You'll be escorted to a tank, a Panzer, where we will take you to
Not
a
bad.
harbor.
Where?
To a harbor where
To a
we'll get
harbor?
on an aircraft carrier.
Okay.
So far, it's Benji's dream date, but this is a mental battle. We get on this aircraft carrier. We keep going. We sail out to sea. Slowly, though, you start noticing things are wrong as we go through. That is not an American soldier. That is a panda. That is not a box of cheese coons. That's just C4. This isn't even a tank. That was a Volkswagen that, for some reason, was painted green.
It was just a beetle with somehow that had treads on it.
Large stag beetle.
Then, the biggest thing you realize is during dinner, on the bow of this aircraft carrier, you look down and you realize we're never on an aircraft carrier. We never left the house. It was all a simulation.
It's like
And then
an
you wake up-
M. Night Shyamalan.
Like the Twilight Zone.
And then you wake up again while I'll reveal that I've destroyed every boat and piece of military history and revealed it to you.
Is there at least still broccoli?
No.
Man, that really is
The worst.
a hellscape.
That is a cataclysm.
The new world you wake up to is tankless, is boatless, is shipless, is trainless, and the worst of all is broccoli-less.
Everyone drives on cars, even across the ocean. There are ocean roads.
There
the
are
cars
ocean
drive on.
roads and ocean cars.
I can appreciate that I started with a scenario where I exerted an unfair amount of control on the situation, and each scenario only grew more improbable as we went around to the point of just completely eliminating all of the world's armored forces and naval forces and the vegetable of broccoli.
It's a perfect date for
Broccoli
most
is-
people.
Broccoli becomes an illegal drug.
Not in Oregon, baby.
It's legal here.
Okay, here we go. Well, okay.
Give me that good broccoli, baby.
Oh yeah, baby.
Okay, Charlie.
Look, man. Sometimes broccoli does things to a man that it really shouldn't. The first time that you eat broccoli is a rite of passage. You go from man to man squared.
I knew it was gonna happen. You entered the voice.
If I did have to go and make Charlie's date bad, I'll give everyone, if you're in this situation and you want to do this, show up late.
Yeah, that'd fuck with me. Okay. So, here we go. You're trying to write fan fiction. But
Okay.
you're trying to write the worst fan fiction you can. And like, not ironic bad, but like you're trying to make it bad. So you need to tell me the series that this fan fiction is based on, and what happens in this fan fiction
So
of
am
yours.
I trying to like write the thing that would piss off the most people, or like what's the goal here?
You can interpret it as you want. It just
Okay.
needs to be real bad fan fiction.
Can we insert original characters or other characters, or does it have to be in universe?
You could do whatever you want, man. This is your fiction, you know? Your fan fiction.
The first thing to my mind was to just write a Harry x Ron Harry Potter fan fiction, because I don't think that's a popular pairing.
I feel like that's been done.
Well, it hasn't been done, but I feel like that's a very unpopular pairing.
Okay, so you're choosing Harry Potter now. You gotta take us through the romantic story.
Oh my gosh. Ron's got freckles, right?
I think he does.
Yeah, so he gets cursed and his freckles come alive. And they start like attacking people and raiding harbors as pirates. And so Harry and Ron got to team up to destroy his freckles and reintegrate them into Ron onto space. And he's got a lot of freckles, so there's a lot of pirates.
So at what point during the story do Ron and Harry realize that they love each other?
Let me think. I think it's around the 15th freckle.
So
Alright.
like,
Covered.
is this an adventure though? Like,
Yeah, it's an adventure. It's like over 100 chapters, and each chapter is you get a freckle back.
so Ron.
It's like a
go-
monster of the week, but it's freckle of the week.
So Ron goes to Harry and he says, "Okay, Harry, my freckles, they've come alive and become pirates in the Mediterranean Sea. Me and you, we gotta go." Then Harry says, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go get your freckles."
I don't think either of them speak like that.
Well, because it's in the boys' love genre, which one of them becomes pregnant?
Is that a okay? Gotta walk us through that statement. real
Okay,
quick.
apparently in the BL genre, right? Two pretty boys. It's very common for one of the characters to somehow become pregnant. So I'm curious, in the relationship of Harry and Ron, which one of them is...
Harry.
Does Hermione at some point come in and she's like, "Ron, why
No,
did you
dude,
leave me?"
Hermione doesn't exist in this universe. It's just Harry and Ron, and Ron's freckles.
They
Yep.
have...
And also pirate-based magic.
So there's not even like Hogwarts in this. It's
No.
just like the characters in some random universe where there's freckle magic.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Okay. So Benji, what is your fan fiction?
Okay, the first thing that popped into my mind was Ron Swanson and Steven Universe.
It's come from the
But-
TV shows Parks and Recreation and
Oh,
Steven
no,
Universe.
nah, dude, it comes from Gem Beach. That's what the show's called, right?
Yeah. Gems on Beach.
Gem Beach.
But then I was thinking, what if we take the giant octahedron from Evangelion, Ramiel,
Rami-chan?
and I pair that with Gendo from the same show, the guy in charge of eliminating the angels.
Is it a forbidden relationship?
Yeah,
Forbidden romance?
and then Ramiel would become Shinji's stepmom. And so whenever he came home from school, like Ramiel would be there with like an apron draped on it, somehow small enough to fit in Misato's apartment, which he would still live in somehow. And then Pen and Ramiel, Pen the penguin, and this shrunk down enormous alien enemy octahedron can have like a side thing that's like a subplot. And the culmination of this is you can have a showdown between Gendo and Pen.
So it's a love triangle between a penguin, an octahedron alien world destroyer, and a man wearing glasses.
Gendo
Who
is
has-
more
has
than
problems
a
with
man
his
wearing
son.
glasses.
Who,
Oh, thank you.
Who like abandoned his son.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right, I'm in.
I'm getting vibes of like I just had it at the tip of my mouth. tongue, whatever that phrase is.
Tip of your nose.
The tip of my nose is where it. I don't know. But
That's where your thoughts
that's
rest.
where my thoughts rest. The tip of my nose. I was thinking of like one of those sitcoms. I imagine it starts with an opening of Shinji knocking on the apartment, coming in, and he's like, "Mom, I'm home." And then Rami-chan floats over in like the apron with the blushing cheeks, and like just above her, no arms hovering, like I don't know, a bowl of soup or something. And she just makes Rami-chan noises like.
And then after that happens, the laugh track plays because the audience understood in the studio, but you can't.
It's incomprehensible.
Yeah, it's just Shinji going like, "Ha ha ha ha." It's pretty funny, Mom.
It's pretty funny. Does Ramiel wear makeup? Is there like on one of the faces? Is there like a human face drawn on there using makeup?
No, I think the direction it is facing is just implied by the apron. Maybe it wears extra blue somehow. It makes
Extra
itself
blue.
more blue.
Yeah, like blue foundation. There's a scene of Rami-chan waking up, hovering over to the restroom, then like floating makeup, but Rami-chan looks exactly the same afterwards.
It's just a blue spray paint.
Imagine Gendo then coming home from work with a briefcase, but in the same suit. And he's like, "Oh, darling," and then
They're still living in Misato's apartment, but also Gendo is there, and he's reading the morning paper. And then Rami-chan uses its giant laser to engrave a picture on the pancakes that they're eating for breakfast, like a heart or something.
I feel like Misato would still be there, and every once in a while would make some like weird joke like, "What are you all still doing in my house? No, seriously, what are you all doing here?" And then the audience goes, "Ha ha ha ha."
This sounds like I could picture this one actually existing. This does not seem outside the realm of possibility for a fan fiction.
I could imagine this just happening like in somewhere in Evangelion, like shoving it in as like a weird fever dream or something.
This is the fever dream episode where Gendo and Ramiel have a relationship in Misato's apartment.
Okay, let's see.
It's a queen bed, and it's like Gendo, and then there's a giant lump next to him in the covers because it's just a large geometric object.
She doesn't need to bring their own dice to D&D because you just roll Rami-chan on the table.
Alright, what about you, Charlie?
So, mine is Firestar from the Warriors Cats
Fuck.
Kids Theory, combined with Master Chief.
Oh no!
So basically, it starts like this. You start with Firestar waking up in his den, saying hi to the cats all around. Then he says, "I'm gonna go for a walk." And then, he goes for a walk, walking through the forest. Then he finds this giant bomb with these spikes on it, like was in Halo 2, that Master Chief launched. And he starts sniffing it, and he's like, "What is this? Is this a trap?" And then Master Chief comes out and says, "Cat, what are you doing here?" And then, of course, because Master Chief speaks cat, and vice versa, Firestar goes like, "How you doing there?" Then Master Chief says, "Get on!" Then he'll take out his, gun, and then Firestar would jump on his shoulder. But the moment he does, Cortana leaps out and implants himself into Firestar, which gives him floating cat magic. So he starts floating around with Master Chief, and he has, floating laser guns. And it's basically just Halo 3 or something, except the Arbiter, you have a floating cat that speaks to you telepathically, and it's also Cortana.
Is speaking cat just inserting a lot of cat puns into your speech?
Yeah, yeah, Master Chief's like, "Let's meet over there," or just random throwing a meow, or
Yet over there.
you could speak Russian to a cat too, of course, but Master Chief doesn't know Russian.
I am now imagining a cat floating up to Master Chief and going, "Cheeky breeky!"
Yeah, Firestar the cat gets a Russian hat, and he's just floating around shooting aliens.
I would like to point out that none of us involved a real girl in any of our things. I would like for the audience to note that is not indicative of anything. Don't think about it too much.
What do you mean Cortana's there?
Cortana is
Inside-
not a real girl.
Ramiel's a
Cortana is a VTuber.
She's literally based off of...
Cortana is a V.
She's literally based off of Dr. Halsey, man, you know?
Oh my gosh, stop.
Just like how VTubers are based off of anime girls that exist in real life.
It's true. Thank you for clarifying that.
That's the truth.
Well, I guess we get to go on to a food-tastic question now.
Oh, babe.
Some would ask, where's the lamb sauce when they hear it, but here we go.
Some would ask, where is the lamb sauce?
Well, here it is.
Oh, okay.
So, you want to make a new Gordan Ramsay restaurant, of course, with several Michelin stars.
Of course.
So, however, every new dish at this restaurant has to contain a common ingredient. This could be eggs or something, but like you can't do salt, you can't do basic ingredients, and like more points for the furthest out ingredient you can like put into everything.
Is this? It has to be included in the dish,
Every
In
dish.
every dish, including the drinks
Okay.
including the drinks
and desserts. Everything.
and desserts.
Alright.
So you also should have a theme for this restaurant. Like, how do you portray this theme? Where is it? You choose your city. So what is this restaurant? What do you cook? And what is your ingredient? And how do you pitch this to Gordan Ramsay?
Okay, so it's in Philadelphia, right?
Solid.
It's in Philadelphia. It's a King DDD themed restaurant, especially around the Gordo. Okay, and the ingredient.
Gordo, as in the giant metal spiked ball.
Yes.
That in Smash you
Yes.
can launch out.
And the ingredient is the durian,
Ooh.
right? And it's used in every
Sorry,
dish.
what's a durian?
It is a fruit. I know it's found in parts of Asia commonly. It smells really bad. I've never eaten one. I don't recall eating one at least, but it smells kind of like poop.
Okay, got it.
It's a durian. That's the ingredient, right? And you can have like durian juice as a drink. You know, durian, like, you know, fruit alcohol, durian, right? And so you've got, like, because it's a fruit, you've got all these options. And also, it looks kind of like a Gordo.
But how do you pitch this to Gordan Ramsay?
Oh, so it's visually themed after looking like a Gordo, the main dishes.
Yeah, all the dishes are, like, themed around King DDD and Gordo.
Like, here, I'll be Gordan Ramsay for this scenario. Pitch it to me.
Okay, Mr. Ramsey, I've got an awesome idea for a new restaurant. I think you'll love it. So what you need is you need to start importing a large amount of durians into Philadelphia in Pennsylvania.
You mean the fruit that smells like poop?
Yes. It's I've got this great themed restaurant idea, and it doesn't like we'll use Febreze or some shit, right? Okay, so it looks. Are you familiar with King DDD from the Kirby games?
Of course, part of every culinary training is knowing all the Disney characters.
You know,
I don't think that Kirby's not Disney, nor is King DDD.
I know more than you, bub.
No, you don't. Gordan Ramsay, King DDD is not a Disney character. We gotta hammer this out first. This is not a This is not
I
sponsored.
understand. Just
This is
keep
not
going.
sponsored by Disney. Gordan Ramsay.
Keep going. I'm a
Okay.
busy
So
man.
we're gonna theme it off of King DDD and the spiked balls he throws called Gordos, and because a durian is a spiky ball, and so is a Gordo, and so every dish is made using durians.
You know, you sold me. We'll get 3 Michelin stars to start. I just gotta call up the tire center.
Yeah, it's a
is that
resource
the
you can use.
expression? You sold me. Is it?
You sold me on the idea, or something like that.
Yeah.
My first thought was you captured Gordan Ramsay and sold him like illegally
At Denny's.
to Denny's, where they buy and sell people. Apparently.
Okay, Benji. What's your restaurant?
I'm torn. I like the idea of picking something that can be fermented into alcohol. However, I appreciate geometry, and there's nothing more perfect than a sphere. So we're gonna have to go with the spicy meatball. I know it's not a single ingredient, but all we will do is spicy meatballs.
Like for the drinks too, it's just like you take a spicy meatball, then squeeze it into like the juices into a cup.
It's not even squeezed. It's just a few stacked in a cup. You can get them on a skewer. You can get them in a bread bowl, but the bread bowl is just other meatballs glued together in a bowl
So
shape.
it's not even a bread.
You can get them any way you want it. I think it's a good plan.
But to be honest, I don't even think you need to do the sell to Gordan Ramsey. I feel like he's already working on this. You tell him, and he just says, "Dude, I'm working on this already. You're my lead man."
Where is it?
Where
is this restaurant?
it's got to be located deep in a cave that you can wander into accidentally.
So-
And then there has to be a full staff, but all the tables are unoccupied, and you walk in and everyone smiles and welcomes you.
I'm assuming this is like an interdimensional cave, where it's not a certain cave you need to go into. Like any adventure, like you could be up in the Himalayas or like down to the Amazons.
Or in Wisconsin.
Or in Wisconsin, of course.
It-
Particularly Wisconsin. You can wander in this
Any
cave.
cavernous entrance, any entrance to a ravine, any hole in the ground, or any doorway in Wisconsin has a 7% chance of letting you into this meatball restaurant.
So is it
But if you tell anyone about it, who you have told, and you yourself will never be able to go there again,
It's like Narnia.
basically. It's
so like can you lead a person there?
No, man.
You can lead a person there, but if you try and expose it, and it's up to the meatball gods whether or not you are worthy, but you'll know. You'll wake up one day and there'll be half of a meatball on next to you in the bed, and you'll be like, "I've been rejected."
It's like a horse head.
Yeah,
It's a horse head made out of meatballs.
yeah, it's all glued together.
Yeah.
The meatballs can be of different sizes, so you can get really creative with them.
Is the is like the head chef just a large meatball?
The head chef is they actually have a industrial machine that shoots them out one at a time, like into a big basket.
That's pretty solid. Like, there's huge. This meatball factory is just attached. There's just all these chefs.
Is there like a meatball like conveyor belt? You can wash them like a Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, it's exactly like the Krispy Kreme.
I like to think there's a meatball like in Willy Wonka, in the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Willy Wonka has his chocolate river. I like to think there's a meat river that the meat is turned into meatballs.
It's just a bunch of meatballs flowing.
And you could get on a boat that's just made out of meatballs glued together. And then you have like, in one of our series, we have a meatball man with arms and legs.
What?
And I imagine these is the Oompa Loompas going, Oompa Loompa, meatball we are. And that's,
But the head of the operation is Gordan Ramsey. However, Gordan Ramsey himself is a flesh mech piloted by the primordial meatball.
Or it's just Gordon Ramsay, but his eyes are meatballs.
Well, all the meatballs are just clones.
of the primordial meatball.
You know, meatballs are pretty like fragile, and we're talking about like making boats out of meatballs.
Well, we're talking advanced meatballs made directly from the primordial meatball, not
yeah.
cheap imitations of just ground meat. Made
I mean,
into a
meatball
spherical
was
form.
before meat.
All right, this
I guess I get to go.
yeah. So we have one like weird joke one, a terrifying eldritch horror. What are you gonna give us, Charlie?
Oh, the Eldritch Horror sounds fun to
Does
make
it involve
another.
Cheetos?
No, not this time. I've lost appetite for all things cheesy and toe-like.
We'll see how long that lasts, Charlie.
So, first I gotta choose an ingredient. Should be exotic, strange, interesting. I'm gonna choose turkey. So, every dish will involve a whole turkey.
Oh, a whole turkey.
Entire turkey.
An entire turkey.
Is it even cooked or is it just like a dead turkey?
Well, it depends on what you order. I mean, you do need to pay extra for cooking, of course.
So can you order just like a dead turkey in like a soup, in like tomato soup?
This is the appetizer. They put a shotgun on your table and they release a turkey into the restaurant.
It's actually fried turkey feathers.
That's right. Oh gosh.
So,
like chips.
Yeah.
Oh.
So to start with, okay, this restaurant is going to be, of course, in the heart of America.
Where's the heart?
On the East Coast, like Pennsylvania area, just in the smack dab middle of either upper state New York or Pennsylvania. And in like a mile radius around this restaurant, it's always fall. Always. It doesn't matter the season, it's always fall, slightly overcast, and leaves falling down. You drive up here, and like,
You just named like 3 separate jazz standards, basically. Just the titles.
You go there, and like, just, it looks like a giant log cabin. It's like some stone, it's real nice along a river. And everyone there, all the waiters, are dressed as pilgrims. Like, you know, the hats, and they bring you there.
The hats with the belt on them for some reason.
Yeah. And the logo of the restaurant is, it may not be Thanksgiving, but here, it always is. So you go in.
Oh my god.
So you go in, you sit down at your log table, giant roaring fire, and that's where you get started. You can start with your gravy. They don't give you water pitchers, they give you gravy pitchers, your turkey gravy. Then you could get your fried feathers to start off with. You could get your emulsified turkey instead of mashed potatoes, of course, with your turkey gravy over it. You could get your all the plates are turkey shaped. All the napkins are also turkey shaped, and all the tables are just these wooden large redwood
are we talking
trees.
Silhouette from the side of live turkey?
Silhouette of a live turkey from the side.
Oh, so a nice asymmetrical plate with a weird neck part that's useless.
Then there's the tables are all taken from a giant redwood tree, and then they're carved in the shape of the same shape of the turkey, too.
Oh man.
All of these tables. And then
Not the redwoods.
Gordan Ramsey actually lives here because that was part of our deal. So he shows up and he says, "Welcome to." Oh, it doesn't.
He
have
shows
a name.
up as in he comes downstairs.
Yeah, he comes
'Cause he
downstairs.
lives above the-
Yeah, but he's always wearing a giant turkey costume because he's that fond of turkeys, and he serves you individually, and that's why it gets 5 Michelin stars. And that's my concept. I of course tell him this idea by kidnapping him and taking him to this restaurant I already built, and he just can't leave.
So Gordan Ramsay didn't make this restaurant. It already existed and kidnapped Gordan Ramsay and holds him
Have you
hostage.
put a magic barrier or something similar to prevent him from leaving
Well, I made
the restaurant?
him make a soul contract with the Grand Turkey. So essentially, he has to work there for 20 years, and in exchange, he gets even stronger cooking powers.
I feel like mine was the only normal thing, and it was a King DDD restaurant based entirely around the durian, but it was the most normal out of
If
these.
we've established anything, it's that the first person who goes is gonna have the most normal one, and it's just gonna get weirder.
You gotta one-up it. So, thank you all for watching. Unfortunately, that was our last question. We're about at time.
I hope you enjoyed the video.
Yes, this is a video, of course, as you could tell by there only being sound. If you want to catch more of us parsimonious fellows, you could catch us on either YouTube, just type in Parsimonious Fellowship, or on Twitch, also type in Parsimonious Fellowship. We stream on Saturdays and upload daily vids of whatever we're doing at the time you're listening to this.
But you'll never catch me. I'm too fast.
Max is too fast. Be sure to subscribe on whatever podcasting platform you're using, and these should be uploaded every Sunday.
Oh, and if you're interested, we have other content like streams and Let's Plays if you can't get enough of our extraordinary intellect here.
Some say our IQs combined is at least 3.
I think it's 2. One of us doesn't have a single IQ point. I'm telling you, man.
We didn't know how to get to the test, we wrote our name wrong, so it's just a 0.
Well, catch you later.